Madam Chairman, we're live.
Welcome back to our Monday or our Wednesday meeting, August 20th in the morning. Our next agenda item is a discussion. So this has just been an interesting conversation and I feel like I need to apologize for the misconfusion. We had gotten notice originally that the church was going to be out by middle of August, that they would be complete with their new project. They got into the new project and had many more issues with the new building they purchased. So they're going to be spending some time upgrading that building. So it's very unfortunate. So that we can accommodate everything, we're here to have an open conversation. You guys can come up to the table if you want, so that you are on speaker and we can just talk through the issues.
Okay.
First up, I just want to state we are in full support of our senior community. Our seniors are very important to us. We're looking for long-term solutions to a short-term issue. So the senior center has been closed for about a year.
Correct.
And I'm asking for, I guess, a little bit of leniency on the date that you guys get your stuff restarted, so that we can actually accommodate the situation and move forward with a long-term solution. We want to make sure that the seniors are supported, and I know that Tracy has given kind of a business plan on being supportive of the center. And so it's what is the best scenario? Super critical that we get daycare open because of the fact that the daycares are all closing. And that impacts all of the business community. So it's really super critical that we have a daycare that's open and functioning for Cascade. If we don't, there'll be a lot of people that either have to leave their jobs, kids will be at work, which is kind of what we experienced during COVID. We kind of got a taste of this during COVID. So we're asking the seniors to be a little bit lenient on their timing to reopen and allow the daycare to open on that side of the complex, and then work together for long-term viability so that we have a long-term solution.
So since the last meeting, I haven't been able to update anybody. Cindy was able to get a emergency meeting the day after we found out we couldn't open on the church side. And we wanted to bring to you that it was unanimous that Ignite Idaho take over the whole space. And we would, because it's going to be Ignite Idaho Family Resource Center, the Youth Assessment Center, and a Child Care Center, that we would work with the Senior Center. It would be Ignite Idaho Family Resource Center, the umbrella of all these different entities, but we would like to do an MOU with Valley County as Ignite Idaho. And then until December, when the church moves out of the other space, the Senior Center and the board has said that we could come in, make all the changes that we need to, and run the daycare on that side. We've had all things that we've needed to do done, including the fire inspection. We're just waiting on Central District Health to come and do the licensing portion. With that being said, we're hoping that Valley County would be willing to allow Ignite Idaho to take over the whole space, both sides. We would have an MOU with Valley County, and then we would have an MOU with the seniors, allowing them, once the daycare moves to the other space, utilizing that space with Ignite Idaho Family Resource Center. And we would all work together with the calendar to make sure that they have their needs met, we have our needs met. It would cut down on their cost, and they could focus on their own needs and not be worried about all of the other components. And it would also help Ignite Idaho be able to bring all these resources to the community.
Okay. Ignite Idaho Family Resource Center, Inc., LLC.
Inc.
or Inc. So we had agreed on $1,000 a month rent. We'll just leave that as is for the entire building. The seniors did get that section, and Commissioner Caldwell, make sure that you're jumping in for part of this conversation as we move forward. But we had basically donated the space to the seniors on that side. And as long as we still have the same programming and, lunches and everything else in support of the seniors. Catlin, I'm okay with still stating that we would donate that one side and charge $1,000 on the rent for the other side. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. I think hindsight's 2020. I wish this would have gone a little differently now where we're at this point. I think an RFP would have been appropriate had we known what was going to move forward. But I think we're past that now, and so I'm okay with the path that we're moving forward with.
Okay. The things that we hadn't settled yet on the seniors MOU, that some requests have been made as far as utilities, snow removal, those types of things. I do feel like because you're getting the entire building for $1,000, you need to take care of the utilities, the snow removal, all of that. I mean,
And we told them we would.
okay.
The one thing I wanted to touch base on, I think they had mentioned potentially talking with the propane company. And I think if they can continue to work that piece out, that's one thing that they'll be using that we would minimally use, if ever, because it's really for the kitchen. So as long as they continue to work that out with the company that you guys have, that would be amazing.
Yes, I agree.
And we are still going to be writing grants to try and get grants to replace the furnaces over there. So, go ahead, Clerk Miller.
Madam Chair, my apologies. Yes, once we have an understanding of exactly what that building is going to be, I think that is going to allow our grant writer to specify with Department of Commerce the use of that building. And we want to make sure that we are still eligible for the potential upgrades that we were looking at if it was just a senior center. But now, once the MOU is signed and we truly have an understanding of what the entire building is going to be, that potentially could strengthen our grant application. I don't know, but we'll definitely have our grant writer research that, reach out to Idaho Department of Commerce.
And I think maybe if they need an MOU between Ignite and the seniors, to show that also, to show that it is still being used as a senior center.
And we did discuss that as well, that we will have that, in that if those funds that you give them yearly still are able to come, because I know that they need that, it would come to Ignite, and then our MOU would state that those funds would go to them.
We'll leave that between you, because if you were renting the building, the funding would have to go to you.
I would like to talk about maintenance temporarily. I think it needs to be maintained by the county. I don't think there are enough funds for us to do so. And the heater is not in good condition.
I am not able to hear Cindy. Is there any chance she could speak up, please?
There we go.
Is this better? Hello?
Yes, that's better.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that we have issue with that heating system there, and we're going to need somebody to come down and adjust it as we go through. Because we had issues with it just 2 months ago, which, I had to come in and adjust it down, and it still was blowing hot, and finally stopped. But that was still blowing hot for like 5 days.
So anything that is a concern with the building itself and the heating source, it is a county building. So therefore, we would be responsible for that.
Okay,
So the maintenance of that would still be ours.
perfect.
Anything that, the roofing, the exterior structure, that's still on the county. It is still a county building.
Okay,
So as the leaseor, then we would have that in our MRU. What is our responsibility versus the leasing
Thank you.
responsibility? So, yeah.
So when you say maintenance, you're really talking about like keeping it in good order, right? Like
Correct.
it needs paint, that would be something that you would consider, but like we're gonna make sure that it's clean up. We clean it up once a year and we weed, and is that really?
Painting
And
is
others-
normally a tenant's responsibility. I mean, if TI, the tenant improvements are normally paint, you would do that. The exterior
Gotcha.
would be the county. So if there's something on the exterior building that needs to be done, then yes, we would take care of that. But if you want to go in and paint individual rooms or you want to do that kind of thing, that's kind of on the tenant to do that.
So exterior paint would be county? Okay.
Does it need to be painted right now? Is
The
that what I'm
trim
guessing?
needs to be painted really bad.
And I'm not sure if you know, there's a post too
That's
that
what I was
looks
just
like
gonna say.
somebody may have ran into it, or there's a bit of a little fix on it.
It's just barely hanging, and that was a concern of mine.
Is that the entryway?
The blue poles that are outside the beams.
Okay.
It supports just a little
Yeah.
overhang.
Okay.
Overhang. It's like in the middle of the building. It's
And
not at either one of the
Not heard
entrances.
anything about that, so I will definitely get our buildings and grounds department to look at that right away.
And then
That's what I was gonna say. I would like the buildings and grounds to go, look at it, see what they feel needs done, and just have a written, what am I trying to say? Like a, so that we know the condition that it's in right now, and then moving forward, we have that to refer back to.
You bet. So I will have them do like an inspection on it.
Yes.
And then I had one other question.
Okay.
If we were able to get all of this done in a timely manner, we'd like to move in as soon as possible. I didn't know if there was Valley County storage space where we would be able to help the seniors put their things in there until December. I think we could get enough people to be able to do it, but I didn't want it to be an additional cost to anybody if there was a space where we could just put their things. In December, as soon as the church is out, we bring everything back and figure out how it's going to be managed.
Have buildings and grounds look at it, but honestly, the county does not even have storage space available, so unless we put stuff downstairs in one of the empty rooms down there, which I just don't know, I'll have to have Terry look at that too and advise on that.
We might be able to get one of the storage facilities to donate a space for a couple months for them. I just wanted to make sure that that's something pretty significant if we need to move as quickly as we can.
I will get started on the MOU today. I'll have our attorneys start working on that. Their heads are up as far as what they need to work on, so they're waiting for that request. So I will try and have something ready to sign. I don't know what their time limit is. Hopefully by next week, but if not, maybe the following week on the 3rd.
What would be your expectation of when we would need to get our MOU changed then? Because we see this as a real opportunity as a senior center to have a little bit of breathing room to now sit back and go, okay, what does this really look like for programs, and how do we were in the works for the bingo and the Meals on Wheels, so it just gives us a little space. But is there any expectation? Because obviously still supporting seniors. Like, is there any expectation from you, or we can let Tracy get up and running, and then that's between us?
I think we can just put in our MOU that there is an agreement between the two, prior to year end or something like that, so that you guys are protected in the long term, that there is something that's created for. I think we can just address that. How are we coming on the fence?
He's brought all the material, and it's supposed to be completed by September 2nd.
Commissioner Caldwell, do you have any other questions? Do you have any other comments you want to make on this?
Not at this time.
And I think I was trying to think. Cindy had sent me that. I was trying to remember what all of the things were that the senior center wanted it. Date of the lease, half of the utilities, so we won't be doing that. Quarter months, maintenance. So what's going on with the plumbing? Is there any
There is nothing
Problems with the
wrong at
plumbing?
this moment.
is what?
There is nothing at this moment.
Oh, okay, great.
I think a lot of that was the clarification on maintenance, right?
Okay.
To
Okay.
owner,
Okay.
but I think you clarified that.
Right. I'm excited about this. I'm very excited for the seniors and the stability I think this is going to provide. I'm familiar with Tracy's work at McCall, and I think they're a very solid, have a very solid reputation, and excited to have some additional functions available to Cascade that they currently don't have. So
All right. Well, thank you so much.
absolutely, we will get drafting and let you know when it's available for signatures and approval. So.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. I'm glad we're all, this is worked out. Everybody's in agreement, and we can, just all of us work toward a very positive outcome for the future for the
Yes.
community. So, okay, good. All right.
And we don't have anything at 11:30 because
We
originally
do
on my
not.
calendar.
Yeah, that was kind of jointly put on there.
Okay.
So
My
without the
fault, I'm
MOU,
sure.
can we still be continuously moving forward with the things that we're doing to
Yes.
make sure that
Yes.
we can open as soon as possible?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming in. All right. So, with that being said, I think we have one action item on at 12 o'clock. Can we move that if we can get Jeremy here?
Madam Chairman, I think that would be acceptable.
Okay. If you want to hold us for just a few minutes, I will reach out to Jeremy and see if he can come now. And then I don't have to wait
The
around.
only other matter, Madam Chairman, we did put an opportunity for the public to present to the commissioners. We're trying to make that a routine again.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have the capability of staying down here.
I will stay down here, and if need be, we'll hop on with Commissioner Caldwell again. So
Fair enough. Thank you.
I've just got work to do, so I can just get started on some work. So
I'll just mute us for the time being.
okay.
Yep, I did. So I'm not gonna log off. Yep. Great.
All right. Madam Chairman, we're back on.
Welcome back to the morning meeting of August 20th. And next up, we are going to jump ahead, since we are ahead of our agenda today, to our 12 o'clock action item, which is a decision and a discussion regarding the badge access on the internal doors at the Cascade Annex. Our IT director, Mr. Wilcox.
Not afternoon, good morning. If you recall, we talked about doing some badge access. We got the front door done initially, and there was talk of doing internal doors, but at the time we didn't quite know what everything was going to look like. Now that and I had some preliminary quotes based on what we thought it might be going to look like. But things have changed enough that those aren't even really relevant anymore. So then last week I was informed that maybe we weren't going to do any internal doors, and so that's why I brought it up during my time last Wednesday. And so we tabled that until today to rediscuss. Some folks went down and looked at the way things are going to be set up, and it sounds like the current request from the various departments have identified 4 internal doors that they would like to see badge access on. However, one was forgotten about, which I feel is probably the most important, which is that very back existing door that comes up from the back stairs from the
That's good. I was
PA's
gonna
office.
ask. So the internal doors, when we're talking about that, it's an automatic that the back door on that back stairwell and the front door get badge access.
Right.
Okay.
So the front door does, the back door does not. So with the 4 that were requested, it would be a total of 5 to be added once construction was completed. The
So
4
6
new
total.
internal, no, just 5. The 4 new internal, and then that back
So the
stairwell.
front, the back.
The front's done.
Okay. It's already done. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me where those 4 doors are.
So the 4 internal doors are the one. So you walk in the foyer. There's a door that goes into the where the accessories are going to be on the right. So that door.
Okay.
And then on the left, that door that goes into the hallway that gets into the area where the
DMV and building.
planning and zoning and the DMV entrance and in that area. And then they're putting a door. That's 2, right? So then they're putting a door right behind that main desk in the front. There's that sort of walkway between there where there's some cabinets and stuff back there. They're going to put a door there because it gets into that same hallway
Right.
on the other side. So they're going to put a door there so that
So back to the copy room, that interior copy.
so that door, and then also on the building planning and zoning DMV side, all the way in the back, they're putting a wall back there that they're putting a door,
Okay.
and that would be the 4th one.
Okay. So as you're coming through the back door, there is the break room to the left. And then as you're heading into the assessor's room, is there any doors there that need one, or it will just be protected by the entry off the back stairwell?
It would be, and honestly, we might, now that I'm thinking about it, we could eliminate one. So to answer your question, it would be controlled by the access through that back door.
Okay.
So when you come in there, like again, there is going to be a door on that, through the break room on the planning and zoning building side. That was door number 4. However, on the assessor side, if you were to come through that back door, there's not going to, I mean, they built that wall so they could put some offices
Right.
there in that corner. But when you come down that hall, that other archway, I think is just going to be open.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
I don't know if it makes sense to put a card access on the door going into that assessor's area when you could still just get into the,
No.
or the planning and zoning and building area, I'm sorry, when you could still just get into the assessor area.
Yeah.
So maybe we could eliminate that 4th door
So
at the very back on the assessor side, because that could be controlled by that back door from the stairwell. And just do the other, so that would take it down to 4 doors instead of 5.
I still have the front door, the back door, the one
Front
that's
door, the
right
back door.
outside of DMV, the one that's going into the assessor's area up front,
And then that one.
and then the
between.
one. Okay, and the one in between, but also the planning and zoning has a door that goes where the desks are, the front load desks. There's a door there into the back space, or there was going to be anyway. Maybe they're not doing that one, because that would be, the public would be sitting at open desks and could walk in to the back planning and zoning area. There was supposed to be a locked door there too.
So the planning and zoning in the building area, the way that that's structured is, so it's that whole area on the east side.
Yeah.
And there's going to be cabinets. I mean, there's going to be open counters in the front. But they built the hallway, like, you know where the DMV office is?
Yeah.
They built the hallway, so they put a wall. So there's like a hallway going, that's what gets you back behind the counters.
Okay.
So that's one of the doors. There isn't another door that gets back there. It's just the one through that hallway.
Okay. They eliminated one door then. Okay.
So, well, I think so. There's gonna be 2 doors. I'm sorry. In that hallway, there's gonna be one at the very front, and then the one at the back of the hallway. I'm pretty sure. But if we put the card access on that very front door, I don't see any reason why there would need to be one.
No,
up
it's just
on
wherever
second
the
back door.
public could get to.
Right.
It's not the right map. Now that I have that map still for down there. I think that there was another door, and so I'm concerned that they've eliminated that. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I'll go down there later and take a look just to
Okay.
satisfy
And they
myself.
put a piece of blue, like painter's tape on the doors that they wanted. And so that you know, I haven't got official quotes yet because this all kind of came
Yeah.
pretty quick. But historically speaking, it's been, depending on what they need to add to support the doors or whatever, between like 3,000 and 6,000 to do a door, about, seems like. So if you wanted to do all 4 or 5, depending on if you wanted to do that back one, if you go and look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'd be looking at, you know, between $20,000 and $30,000
I think
to
that it's
come out of
important.
those ARPA funds that, I don't know how much is left in there, but
I think it's important that we do this. Catlin, you can go ahead and give your opinion of it too, but you know, carrying around a bunch of keys to try and get in your doors, that really doesn't work.
and since
We
it's
have-
new, getting away from like what the problem with this building has, you know, there's keys out
A
there.
million
who knows who
keys,
has
yeah.
them, yeah.
Yeah, no, the badge access is much easier and much more secure.
It's a lot easier to control for sure, yeah.
Do you have any additions to that, Commissioner Caldwell?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money. I wish this would have been budgeted for in the beginning. But I think on a security side, it's not a bad idea to have a spot where people can go behind a locked door easily. So
And I think we did actually budget this in part of the original bid. But I
We
think
did.
maybe we're actually reducing what we had originally thought it would cost because we're reducing the number of doors that are going to be accessed.
Yeah. And we did talk about it in the beginning, but again, it was hard to sort of plan because we didn't know what everything was going to look like yet. So
The layout was still being in question, so.
if you're good with it, then I'll go ahead and get official quotes, and I can present those, of course, of the final cost before I pull the trigger. But if we're thinking that this is a direction we want to go, then I will get an updated official quote from them for this.
Yep.
And if you wanted, if you would go down there and look at that very back door going into the planning and zoning side, because like I said, if there's access there, if somebody got through that door, they could technically still get into the. So I don't know how much sense it made, but if you want to let me know whether it's going to be 4 or 5.
Okay. I'll go down there this afternoon when we get done here and go take a look. I want to do that anyway, so.
Okay.
All right, so I would move then that we approve, and what I'll say is up to 5. And
Okay.
that way we have the approval.
I'll get a quote for all 5 then.
Okay. And then if we don't need one, then that's just cost savings.
Okay.
Okay. Does that work for you too, that one?
yes, if that was an official motion, I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks for being flexible on time.
Absolutely.
The last thing that we have is the opportunity for the general public to speak. If anyone does show up at 12:15, I will be present, and we will reach out to Commissioner Caldwell to get back online. We rarely, if ever, have anybody that comes in, but we will keep open that time slot. If not, we will adjourn for today.